Do your guys' moms ever just like drop the like craziest world shifting piece of advice or like truth bomb randomly? Because I stopped by my parents' house right before I started this drive back home, and like my mom said the craziest thing. I was like, "Whoa!" Literally, as I was literally about to leave, and it was just really interesting that I wonder if I could. Wait, did I cook? I think I cooked. I think this is cooking. Um, but yeah, she like was. I'm logging in. Her. Um, yeah, like she just was like talking to me, and then she like randomly was like, "Oh, also, I forgot what she said. I forgot what she said, but I know it shifted me. I know it literally altered my world state, one might say. But yeah, like I'm on my way home back to where I live right now. And it's a long drive. It's like about 3 hours, but we're chilling, we're thriving. Listening to this new playlist I made, um, and it's so fire. Life is so fire right now. I guess my thoughts right now are just like get up and do things. I know I've been kind of harping on that, but like seriously, like I know this video probably won't get watched by many, but like I'm just trying to get up and start doing things and start this and like, I want to create content. So I'm going to. I'm just going to start doing it. And yeah, so if that means for a little bit people who are watching are just getting unfiltered, unedited videos of me just talking to myself, hey, that's okay. I love that. Um, this is me. I guess a little bit about me. I realized that I didn't really like ever really like introduce myself, but yeah, like my name is Micah. Some friends call me Mike. The nickname Mike is a really long, silly story that started in high school when I so desperately wanted a nickname because I thought they were so cool and like I was like Micah's fun, but also like I don't know. I just kind of want a nickname. Um, and so yeah, some friends on student council that I was on in high school started calling me Mike, and I decided to bring it back for college. That kind of failed, but this time around, I am kind of 10 toes on the ground, like standing on business. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. Um, of going by Mike, like it's kind of just how I kind of feel right now. Like Micah was definitely um, useful, and like that is who I am, and just like, but I don't know, it doesn't resonate as much as like Mike does. But yeah, so y'all can call me Mike or Micah, like I don't really care. But yes, I'm currently going to school for theater, which has been so fun. I love performing. I love anything kind of artsy, really. Like I oil pastel a lot. I draw. I have recently discovered that I literally love drawing erotic pieces of art. I don't know. There's something so beautiful about the untouched parts of life that I like conveying in my work. The taboo topics, if you will. Um, But yeah, like I write poetry every now and then. I have been writing on Substack since the beginning of this year, which has been super fun. Like I love just dumping all my thoughts into one place and like formulating them and reading back my old work, just kind of seeing the mind state that I was in, and yeah, that's kind of me. Like I kind of just want to do it all, which is what I hope to capture in this channel is just me doing things that I like and me being my most authentic self and just kind of documenting that because I don't know, I think that I have a pretty interesting life. I would think, but like honestly, I don't know. Like I think that it resonate with people is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that I think the concept of content creation is super fun and has always been super. I've always felt super called to it, but this is the this is me actually doing it. So back to the first thing that I was talking about, like my mom just like dropped this like random piece of knowledge and wisdom. She like bestowed it upon me, and I was like, whoa, okay, okay. And basically she was just saying like, don't let other people um, dictate what you do or how you live and like that kind of thing. And that was just really sweet coming from her. um, she always has this like, I think all mothers in a sense have the capability to just know what their child needs to hear and will just it'll randomly activate in them for lack of a better word. Like it's like a activation on a random on a random Thursday. But yeah, I'm headed back because I have a show today and I can't wait. I love shows. I love performing, like I've said, which I'm just reiterating my love for the arts. I think art is so important, and especially right now, like there's this escapism that only exists in art that I think we all need to tap into more. Um, because literally, like, with the way everything in life is happening, and just like life be lifing, as I said in my last video, like life is just life, and the way that I cope personally is through making art and speaking about art and talking through my thoughts. And I'm a very like thought driven person, I would say. I would argue that like that's not something you I would assume you'd normally think when you first meet me. Like I feel like the vibe I give off when you first meet me is like, oh, this guy's like crazy, kooky, confident. Like he's silly, he's really funny. But like as you peel back the layers and as you get to know me more, like I actually do spend a lot of time thinking and calculating and analyzing and existing in this mental space where I am trying to make sense of it all. But isn't that like all of us? Like, is that something you guys or you do? Like, is that something you do as well? Like, I feel like that's just what life is, just trying to make sense of it all. And it's like, the truth is, whatever works for you is working for you, right? Like, I don't know. That's just how I make sense of it. And yeah, like, I just think that there's truth in everything. And I I just want to share the way that I view the world, I guess, also on this channel. Um, because I do feel like there's something, some way, I'm sure there's something that I think that might help other people. Like, I've always been the spiritualistic, intellectual friend to like my close friends. Like they always like they know that about me. I've been reading tarot cards for like 6 years now, which has been super awesome. And like I I will say that I do feel pretty connected to that side of life. And I don't know, like I want to be the type of person that is proof that those two things can exist together. You can be intellectual and humorous. Like, like you can be funny and you can like, have a good time and you can live your life the way you want to, and you can also like view things very seriously. And I think that there's a fine balance between these two things, because when my life starts to feel very serious, things start to move very quickly, and suddenly everything becomes a blur, and like it just doesn't make sense to me, um, as to why I'm caring so much about things I used to not care about. But when I realize that, and I slow myself down, and I focus on making good memories and spending time with good people, I always come back. Like I come back stronger, I come back empowered, and I come back confident. And like that's been something that I've been really, um, I guess, exploring and discovering this past summer. Is just that like I have a lot of friends. I would argue, I would say that I have a lot of friends. Or I at least have a lot of. Whoa, huh? I'm stuttering. Oh no. I have a lot of people that I would consider my friend or friendly. Um, but the people in my life who are like my core and my rocks and my divas, my Shaylas, like there's only a few of them. There's only a few of them. And recognizing that I exist with these dynamics for a reason has been so eye opening. Like realizing like, oh, these friends that I have are probably like, they serve purpose in their very distinct ways, and I love and appreciate that about every single one of my friends. Is that I almost feel like there's a person for me to go to in regard to like very specific situations, like being friends with a lot of creatives opens that up. I feel like it's like, oh, I'm really struggling with like this part uh of the theater process, or like like auditions, or feeling like I'm inadequate, right? And I have friends who relate to that struggle and who can offer me advice and comfort and community in those aspects. But like my core friends, oh, I love them. I love them so bad. I'm loving them horribly. Like I love them to the bone, dude, because they encapsulate all of that. Like it's not like individuals for specific things. They are just who they are, and I can tell them everything because they see me for everything that I am. And it's a very mutually respected thing, I feel like, between me and my core friends. That it's like, I see you the way you see me, and that is in its entirety. Okay, Dr. Seuss, like I did I pop off? Like I think I popped off. But like um recognizing that and just like becoming content with that has been super awesome, because it's like, yes, I have so many friends and I love them and I adore them, but it's like, and I recognize that sometimes those friends come in and out of my life, and it's through phases and it's through cycles and it's through different chapters, but like there are core people in my life, my family included, who are going to be there for every chapter, every book, every novel, like every fraction, every portion of my life, they will be there. And, ooh, I'm like thinking about that one TikTok where it's like, everybody who knows me knows you. And that is so true when it comes to like my core friends, because I feel like I'm always talking about them. and their names are will always be brought up because they're just always on my mind. And that is really true beauty in this world. Like, like that's the most beautiful thing. That's the most beautiful type of connections that I can think exist. And like I still consider everybody my friend. Like, but realizing that my expectations from dynamics had to change in order to better my mental health. Because I think what I was struggling with a lot, especially at the beginning of summer, was that it was like the expectations I had for specific dynamics and specific friendships and specific people were that of, like, of a core friend or of like a best friend, lack of a better word. Like, I think that's like where I fell through because suddenly I had expectations that, like, I could keep with these few people, but for everyone. And that's just not fair. That's not fair. Expectations aren't fair to be placed on people who, like, didn't sign up for that. Or, like, for example, like, I expect a lot out of my best friend Miriam because we have known each other for over a decade. That's literally disgusting. And Miriam, if you're watching, I love you, but like that's like crazy. That's crazy. Like we were girls together type type shit. Like we were girls together. And we have just seen each other grow, and it has just been so beautiful that we have managed to stay connected through all of what life is and like all of life's challenges, and we have really seen each other through some of the darkest parts of our lives thus far, and I know that it will continue on. And I don't know, I used to write, so I write down every time I think of a little thing, a little key wisdom. Every time I have I like to call them downloads. Like every time I have a download, I'll write it down into this section of my notes app called enlightenment. And I did it a lot in high school because I was like, somewhere deep inside of me knew that somewhere along the road, I would appreciate having, you know, I would appreciate having these bits of knowledge that I could come back to. And let me tell you, I cooked with that. That kind of ate down. But I'm just thinking about one of the things I wrote down was that everyone is not reliable, and then followed up with, but everyone is accountable. And I come back to this every so often because it's like it is really true. Like not everyone I can rely on. That's okay. That's okay. But I can hold everyone accountable. That's also okay because, like, communication is a very important thing in this life. And I don't know. Like that was also, I feel like that goes hand in hand with like the thing that I was going through with like my relationship dynamics in my life and my friendship dynamics was just like, oh, yeah, everyone's kind of, you know, everyone has the potential to be reliable. Doesn't mean they always will be, and that's okay. But everyone does and should be held accountable for the things, like, they say they should do or the things that they say they will do. And like I hope that I hold myself very accountable for the things that I say I'm going to do. That's actually something that I feel like I've grown really stronger in as I get older, and I believe that I will continue to get stronger at as I continue to age. Is just like saying I'm going to do something and doing it, because your words are powerful, And I've read many a self-help book where it all comes down to that, where it's like your words and the way you speak and the things you speak into existence all are super powerful. Um, and for me, that manifests in myself by saying like I'm going to do this and then doing it. And you know, I do believe that there is some practicality and there is some benefit in moving in silence. I think that's great, where you act first and then speak later. I definitely think that is the case for some things in this life where you gotta do the thing and then you can talk about it. And I definitely think that there have been points in my life where I've literally maybe not have gotten the thing that I wanted, or like, things didn't turn out the way that I expected them to, but that was after I spoke on them. And I definitely think that there was a part of me that definitely was hindered by speaking on something too soon. So I think there's also just there's a balancing act between speaking and doing, and doing and speaking. And like the reason I started posting on YouTube was because I wanted to do that. But I knew that if I spoke on it too soon, I would literally have stunted myself and made myself literally freeze up and be like, I actually don't want to do this anymore. So that's why I was like, let me post a few videos before I actually, tell people that I'm posting on YouTube. Um, because, hello, like, I needed the security that like I could do this, and like it doesn't really matter to me that I'm doing this before I like actually like speak on it. And then other people have those expectations on me because once again, not everyone is reliable, but everyone is held accountable. And I wanted to be held accountable for doing something that I was going to say that I was going to do. And that had to come from me doing it first before I guess announced it. And I'm talking like as if anyone cares that I'm literally doing this. But like, for the 1 to 5 people that actually do care and like actually do listen and care for what I have to create, hey, how you doing? you know, hopefully, fingers crossed this, kicks off or whatever. But and I can find my audience. I can find people out there that need um, somebody in their corner like me, or somebody to encourage them to be themselves like me, because I do feel like that is something that I do naturally. I tend to be a cheerleader for everyone, and I tend to be the biggest supporter I can for the people that I love, which is quite literally everyone. There's really not. I don't really hate. I don't dislike a lot of people. Sure, I have my moments, but it's that hatred doesn't last very long, and um, you know that makes me think about this whole conversation. Is making me think about this one conversation I had in high school with my best friend Miriam, where um, I had liked this boy, and then things kind of happened between us, but then it like randomly like got swept out from under my feet. Like it just kind of 180 fully just kind of like stopped mid, like out of thin air, like was vanished, and I was like, oh wait. And it made me feel used in a way, because it was like I helped this person become a better version of themselves in whatever way. Like, but now that they're better, they get to leave, and I don't, like, what do I get? And that's a very selfish mindset. But anyways, I was ranting about that with my friend Miriam. Um and she had been going through something very similar, or something in the similar vein, where it was just like, at what point do people like actually see us for the entities and the beings that we are, versus the things that we do for them? And we were talking, and we just kept on like, coming back to this idea that we did not feel seen. We didn't feel real, in the sense of the way that people interacted with us. It felt very transactional. And we ended up talking about how it felt like we were being lived through. Like, these people in our lives, there are people in our lives that will befriend us and befriend, like, let me speak for myself, actually. There were people in my life, and there are people in my life that see me for who I am, that attracts them, and, my confidence, I would like to say, is infectious in some degree. And they see that, they attach to that And once they feel confident enough, it's like I stop. Like, the glitter starts to fade, and suddenly I'm not a new shiny toy anymore. And it's just kind of like they'll leave, and that's okay. But it makes me feel very, very used, and it felt like they were living through me, like they lived through me to get the confidence, to get the things that I worked hard for, and get the benefits of that. And that doesn't make me feel great. And obviously, this is the only way that like I knew how to phrase it, but we came up with the phrasing. I don't want to be lived through, I want to be lived with. Because to be lived with is quite the contrary. Like, it's on the contrast of this conversation of like, to be lived with is to be seen entirely and recognize that, like, I'm a person too, and that we can exist together and we can benefit together because of our relationship, because of our friendship, because of, whatever it is, because we're working together. Like, it really is just like any form of human connection. We can, we can, we can build this thing together. Like, like, we are the world, we are the children, like that kind of thing. I want to be lived with, and I stand by that. And I like, that's a saying that I genuinely think chemically changed my body. Like, I think it genuinely like did something to me, because it made me feel so much better knowing the distinction between being lived through with other people and being lived with. And I think that's just so awesome. And I think it's so needed. It was needed for me at that time. And every now and then I need that too. I need to feel lived with. And there are people that I will always know, circling back to this idea of core friends, there are people that I know that will always be with me. And I appreciate that so much, because sometimes, and like, I'm not saying that being lived through, in a sense, in my words, being lived through is a bad thing. I think that's a great thing. I think, especially right now, like, I can see the benefit of like having friends for specific seasons of life, and like, seeing them become better and seeing them grow. And then, there's a beauty in just letting that go and realizing that, and like recognizing like, hey, I don't know if this is like, I don't know when we'll see each other again. I think this is also just like the fact that I'm wrapping up college, is also influencing this type of mindset. But like, it just is like, hey, there's beauty in that, but there's also so much beauty in the people that see you and want to stick around. Oh, my love, my love goes out to the people who see me and choose to be with me, and choose to be with me, because that is so powerful, dog. Like, that is so powerful, bro. Because in the end, that's all we want. We just want connection. We want community, and you're only ever going to find that through the people who actively see you and choose to be with you. You know, and that kind of feels like the video. This one's kind of longer. I hope whoever watches this enjoys, but yeah. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Who knows when that might be? It might literally be tomorrow, or whatever. But if you are watching this and you have made it this far, like, truly, truly love you so bad. And I hope you stick around for more videos. And I really do love this. I really do just love talking to myself and talking about the things that I think. And I hope the audio quality is good. I hope you can hear me. And if there's any feedback you have, like, let me know. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a comment, subscribe if you're feeling bold enough. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!